Hey guys, and today we are drawing colour mixing bottles. You will need felt tip pens in the colours of primary and secondary colours, a sheet with different shaped bottles on it, some A4 paper, A5 tracing paper, a black fine lining pen, a pencil, and an optional extra of a frame. You will also need a computer scanner. The only prep that you need for this lesson is to fill an A4 page with different size bottles that children can trace. Firstly, we're going to look at composition. So we're going to fill this whole A5 sheet of tracing paper, and we're going to fill it with bottles at different angles and some that overlap, so you can have two bottles that overlap, and also bottles that hang off the edge, and just literally just fill it in any way. When I look for bottles to fill the page with, I specifically look for just line drawings of bottles so that they were clear to see. So when the children draw these bottles, the bottles that overlap, you want to see the whole of the bottles, so even if it's hidden behind another bottle, still draw everything that they can see, if that makes sense. Here is my finished A5 tracing sheet, so you can see that I got bottles at lots of different angles, and some bottles aren't drawn on there fully because they're hanging off the edge of the paper, which is great, that's what we want. And the idea is that I filled up most of the paper. There are some gaps, but that's fine. If you wanted to, you could fill those in a bit more, but it's just to teach the children to use the space that they've got. So I've taken it over to the scanner and placed it face down in the centre, so it leaves a border around the edge, and it's going to copy what you've just done onto plain white paper so it looks like you've drawn it yourself. Now we're going to work on the A4 paper itself rather than the tracing paper. We no longer need the tracing paper. I'm just putting an extra sheet of paper behind mine because I'm using Sharpies. I like the pigment in the Sharpies, but any felt tips will do. And we're going to focus on the primary colours first. So any bottles that you can see on their own, just one layer, which isn't overlapping. So like this bottle, it's overlapping the one bottle slightly, but I'm just doing the bit that is one single layer on its own. That's going to be a primary colour, so you could do it red, blue or yellow, it's up to you. And you want to get all of the bottles that only have one layer to them, you want to colour them in primary colours, and then where they overlap you need to leave that blank for now, so only colour up to where there's a single layer. I knew straight away that I wanted to colour in this bottle red, and I left the label white, but it's up to you if you want to leave the label white or if you want to colour the bottle a solid colour. You don't have to colour in the same bottles, the same colours. They could be all different primary colours, as long as you only colour one solid colour per bottle apart from where they overlap. And where these bottles overlap on those two layers where we've left blank, you then want to go in with your secondary colours, and depending on the colour of the bottles that are overlapping, so first of all I've got a yellow and a red one, yellow and red together make orange, so the colour that I'm going to colour in this little section that overlaps is orange. If the two bottles that are overlapping are yellow and blue, then yellow and blue together make green, so that's going to be our colour that we make there, and then purple for the bottles that overlap, which are blue and red. If you wanted to use paint to actually mix the colours, then of course you could. I just like using pens instead because it's less mess, and also you can use the colour wheel in relation to know what colours to use and teaching them how to actually use the colour wheel. And to finish off this look, we're just going to fine line the edges which were drawn in pencil originally to make the colours stand out more and to give it a pop art finish. Finally, pop a frame on it and it just gives it that finishing touch, and I think this looks great on the wall as a piece of pop art. If you enjoyed this video, then hit the like button and subscribe for more art lessons on a Monday and other art related videos on a Thursday. See you next week for more Art with Miss Burford!